Kirloskar Wadi's first phase of testing. They have a testing unit at Wadi. So this is the first phase that we are actually going to. Before we get on with the agenda for today, on behalf of Kirloskar and Vijay Engineering, I would like to thank FSAI, specifically Mr. Gautam from SKM and Mr. Muthukrishnan from HKM for giving us this opportunity here. We did it last year, they were instrumental. There was one which was digital earlier, but this has been physical, and physical really makes the difference. Seeing how the whole process works, what is covered. Now I would invite Mr. Muthu to set the agenda for today and tell us how we are going to take this ahead. Yes sir, please.
But you don't see any ladies here. Okay, but if one of these a lady, doesn't matter. Take it into consideration. Okay, actually this is very important for us because until date, as a consultant, I did not have this opportunity until the last 3 to 4 years. After I became a major auditor, only I could see this. So 1000% we should appreciate Mr. Vijay Engineering, Mr. Kirloskar for actually doing this honorable job. And today what we all need to do is to give respect and take respect. Okay, I again tell everybody of you, give respect and take respect. What is the respect I am telling you? Give all the inputs to Vijay Engineering and Kirloskar. Boss, I want this capacity of pump, this head of the pump. It should be multi-stage pump, this is the head of the this is the altitude of the system. They are asking for IP54 rating. It is going to be sea water. Okay, my minimum submergence is going to be like this. Okay, give respect to them with all the data. Then you will not have a wrong pump from them. Second respect, what you have to do is invite them to your site. Sir, please come and have a look whether my installation is going to be coming correct. They might charge you for 10,000 or 15,000 rupees, but that way you are going to save a lot of burden in the site. Because sometimes the foundation is 7 degrees, 10 degrees out of slope, then you cannot do anything. But when they come to the site within 2 minutes, they will tell you, boss, this installation is wrong, your suction is wrong, this is wrong. Then everything becomes okay. So this is the second way you have to give them respect. Third way you have to give them respect is treat their materials well. I have seen the pumps kept in the open, control panel kept in the open. Then we tell the boss, tomorrow pump fail ho gaya, we'll ask covering them. Don't do that. So please respect that also, and after you install also, do the flushing of the systems and all properly before actually commissioning their pumps. नहीं तो कुछ भी डब्बा वेल्डिंग इलेक्ट्रोड सभी अंदर जाते हैं, उसका पंप खराब होता है, then we blame them. And last but not least, take all the data from them, and there are some excellent items you will be seeing here, like flow meter, okay, pressure relief valve and all. They can supply everything to you. So you ask them, boss, मेरा project है, ये तुम supply करो. Okay, they might be taking 2% extra, 3% extra, but their experience will be 50% more important to you than anything else. So like that आपने उसको अच्छी तरह यूज़ करेगा ना, मेरा भी कंसल्टेंट को काम नहीं होगा. Okay, so this is something I want to tell all of you. So we will give the respect to them, and from their side, they will give you respect by giving the best pump possible, and then our system performance and everything will be fantastic. You will be able to see a lot of things inside, like the constant drooping characteristics of the pump sets. Okay, how they will be dropping between 0 to 150%, how they will be charging, I hope so. Then what is the importance of the shut-off head and all, they will be able to show you. We have also shown that impeller, how they are going to the trimming, they have told you. All this is going to be a fantastic experience. Okay, enjoy all of you. Thank you.
Just to add to what sir said, I am just setting what are we going to cover today so that it has clarity. First, we will speak for another 5-10 minutes about what Vijay Engineering is. Then Mr. Adil Sheikh would be addressing about Kirloskar Brothers, though Kirloskar Brothers is absolutely aware and known. That is the second aspect that we are going to cover. Then we are going to talk about APOEM unit, what is available in the unit for you. And then comes the most important part, and is the actual physical demonstration of each of the process. What happens at Wadi, what is the SOP followed, what are we following here, and what what is the importance of each stage that we take up to really, when the pump set comes to your site, before what stages are covered. So, and of course, last but not the least, we'll have a performance witness at the duty parameter as well as the 150%. And we are specifically going to be 8. You know, we started our careers by selling Peterfield engines. The founder then, Sharad Kumar Shah, he was a lawyer by profession, but got interested in engineering by selling two Peterfield engines which were imported here. And that's how we came in contact with Kirloskar. Had a common vision of doing a lot of work in the engineering field, and that's how our relation with KBL started. So we have a company, and they are spread across all the sectors, core being building and construction, and process industry also. So we are master distributors for process industry. Building and construction sector, this is our core strength, and the most important thing what we are observing today as the lead time of projects is reducing, availability is there. Now, once we have a walkthrough across the complete unit, you'll understand the diversity of the product availability which is there with us today and the different parameters that we cover. So the whole idea going ahead is very simple, that we want to be present with you at the need of your hour, at the pace of the project that you want to do. Another portion is we have a very strong team. We have around 28 people put together who are either at estimating, technical sales and site evaluation and office operations completely. We created an SOP for one of our contracting clients where we have identified what gap has to be maintained between two pump sets also. We have placed panels on vertical stand, everything we can do that, right from everything. So this is something there with us which is of adds great value to a lot of customers of ours. Another is the state-of-the-art testing facility. We are going to surely start fabrication by next year, because we are going to fabricate our own base plates, and maybe fuel tanks is something in the offing. But we wanted to stabilize this system. So this is a testing facility which is completely there. Not only does it test, but it has a PMI evaluation. It has a vertical. We've been doing it for the municipal corporation in a big manner. Now we are planning to do audits for our customers also. So the latest that we have done an audit is for the Mial Airport for the HVAC pumps. And in fact now we had earlier executed the job. Now we are replacing the spares as well as certain pumps in the unit itself based on how we will improve the efficiency of the pump. So these are some of the things that we do. Other than this, we do solar rooftop projects also, which is part of our bigger portfolio. We also take up compressor business, but that is not relatable to the building and construction sector today. But this is something which we add. We go to the next slide. So there's a bigger question of why this company has survived for 75 years. Last year we finished 75 years of operation. So bigger question comes to our mind is why we have been able to sustain and survive. These are core values that have been defined by our organization. So ethics and integrity is at the core of our organization. It is the very, very most important thing. And we have done a research analysis as to why we have been able to survive every 10 years and how things have changed. So ethics and integrity is there. Customer-centric approach has been there. 1600 million people going out of the way for the customers. I'm not saying that we are 100% perfect, but every interaction with the customer is a learning curve. Equal opportunity. In our organization, we have a spread of 100 people today. Everyone gets an equal opportunity irrespective of the gender. And we have observed that some women have excelled extremely well. Today we have a ratio of 65 to 35. But over a period of time, we would like to increase that and make it as an equal opportunity space to look at. Teamwork has been our core strength. We have 5 offices which are operational, 4 in port, 1 at Belapur, which takes care of our industrial business, and of course the unit in place. And teamwork is being at the core end. Resilience is also something that has been there, which has contributed for 75 years of operation. A lot of people keep asking me, 75 साल किया, 15 साल किया, what is the journey? So we have created a very short synopsis of how our journey is. We started in 48, the founder of Sharad Kumar Shah. 60s we got associated with Kirloskar brothers. 70s was the time when rural electrification became very popular, and we started doing rural electrification projects at that point of time, which had taken certain portion of Tamil Nadu. We realized that 70s and 80s, 1980s के बाद there was a lot of privatization that was taking place from 84 post, and we realized that there is good amount of industrial growth that would come in. Liberalization happened in 1990, and we took this opportunity and realized that now the time is to evolve and change, and that is how we subsequently got into a lot of private sector business. We increased our focus. KPL also came up with a very beautiful concept. They said that now there is a movement, things are changing. Oil and gas is doing well, power is doing well, water supply irrigation is doing well, building and construction had taken a big shift. So we decided that we follow a similar model, and they created sectors, and so did we create our sectorial team, and that is how we really grew ahead. And subsequently, a bigger portion of the business was a lot of process industries and chemical industries started doing HTP. And as we were getting a lot of export requirements, we saw that process became a very integral part. So we, with KPL, brought in master distributors concept. This is nothing but process pumps take a longer lead time item. We wanted to make these pumps available at any point of time. And we decided that we will plan in a forward manner, speak to the customers, and have the availability, which was a bigger challenge at that point of time going on. We, of course, in 15 started our LT panel business. We give fire panels. Palais Royal is a project where we have given one of the largest fire panels, 425 HP, 8 sets is there. The panel is nothing more than 9 meters in length, and we had supplied these panels to them. So we had a contract manufactured, gave an agreement with the company, and that is how we go ahead. We got into solar business. We do solar hookup projects and air compressor business, and APOEM facilities in 2020 we have done. This is the value chain proposition we have now. Some of you may ask me what is got to do with value chain, and this is very effective, and this with KBL we believe strongly in value chain. While, as sir mentioned, while you quote for projects, while you bid for projects, right sizing and cost optimizing become two very important solutions that effectively would make a difference to you when you primarily bid. So we are very strong in pre-tendering, technical evaluation of the offer, what suits and what doesn't suit. We also give multiple solutions in case there is cost saving that needs to be worked, or there is a specific requirement that is there. We also take up digital sales, AMC services, and all support systems. So this is a complete value chain which is there. So what we will do is we will take a pause here, and I'll invite Alim Sheikh to really take it from here, after which Deepak Panchal will talk about what APOEM is. I'm moving a little quickly so that we
This
have
topic
more.
is building and construction segment. The main crucial part is pumps and related to system of firefighting. Pumps basically used in various industries like coal, mining, your steel, process, chemical plants, and the building and construction water transfer applications for plumbing, with ventilation, air conditioning, close loop, and firefighting to create the pressures. When we look the pumps, centrifugal pumps is very crucial parts to doing in the water industry. So these are the types of pumps. This nomenclature on the basis of the bearings. These overall in design is basically APD, GKP, ATD, ROMAC, ICAN, the can motor pumps, mixed flow, and solid handling pumps basically we are using in the sewage transfer applications. And PP is basically between bearings, and these are the split case design, and this split case design come under RKB also, because this is multi-stage pumps. And third one is vertically shaft. It's vertically shaft we categorize in three design. One is KPDS, where the delivery header is not connected with the suction column, and RKB you are already used in vertical multi-stage design pumps installed above the tank, and the vertical turbine pump basically very famous in the industry where pump inside the tank installed and tribore above the tank. Now coming to the pumps fundamental, the centrifugal pumps, the pumps basically cannot suck the water. This is the first very important task. The pumps, whatever the water will come into the eye of the impeller, the pump will discharge. So this is the pump fundamental in short. The principle that the casing, suction piping fill liquid to the pump area, and then the pump will discharge. Atmospheric pressure, the four factor is very important role play. One is the atmospheric pressure, and the second your specific gravity of the liquids, which is water or what type of solids. The pressure is also important. It is 10 meters above the surface. The 1 kg is basically 10 meter column is the relationship. Vapor pressure, atmospheric pressure come into the same. Capacity. The two things is very important apart from these four categories. That one is capacity and another is head. Head and capacity, on basis of these two parameter, we select the pumps, either end suction, split case and vertical turbine pumps. These are typical of the suction head, where the tank above the suction level. By gravity, water will come into the eye of the impeller. And another is a suction lift. Generally, it is happen in the side where our water supply is key, the pump below the tank, and we install the system above the tank. How the pump head will calculate, and they depend on the side elevations. These are the typical suction pump, below pump center line. I am not giving any depth on these details, because our main concern today is to practical session of the system performance. NPSH is very important. I am showing you another earlier slides that basically net positive suction head available and required is to categorize the pump is performing. NPSH A always greater than the NPSH R. This is the thumb rule of the pump, and pump will work. And the difference between this NPSH A and NPSH R is 1 meter entity. This basically net positive suction head is calculated on the vapor pressure, your atmospheric pressure, your friction loss in the pipeline, and the condition like in above ground water tank or below ground water tank. If the below ground water tank, then this will also calculate while you select the pumps. So one typical example that if it is a 3 meter negative suction, then what will be the role of the NPSH and what is the value will be counted. It's a formula and details. Same thing when the tank is above ground and pump below the water storage tank. Cavitation, basically when pump we perform and is continuously vibrate or creating a noise, then there is a main part is a cavitation. We can cover in the session of practical. These are the product range basically covered by Kirloskar. All type of end suction, split case and vertical design pumps. Monoblock pumps also included in that range because all comes in the centrifugal type of pumps. These are the family of end section. Multi-stage pumps, sump pumps, horizontal split case pumps, submersible type. Inline pumps mainly we are using in hydropneumatic systems or jockey application pumps. Just one example to you, the end suction top discharge pump, how will be creating an effect on our regular. This is basically come under the one single bearing, you can say, in either side, impeller. impeller is very important role play in centrifugal pumps. The impeller basically vanes are creating the difference of developing the head. You can say is a pressure, and this type of pumps mainly use your application where the head is limited, the flow is maximum. You can say 2000 meter per, sorry 2000 USGP, and your head is become 90 meters or 80 meters. In that range, the centrifugal end section design pump is suitable for that application. We talk about the split case design pumps. These basically pumps between two bearings the pumps installed. This is inline, you can say, as a split case design. And why is a split case? Because this casing is split in upper half and lower half. We call as horizontal split case. Another way we call as is an inline pump, because suction activity is inline, and pumps bearings are both the side. When you see the bearings, here also the bearings is there, and there is also bearing. The two bearings are there, both the side of the impeller, and this pump give you maximum flow and maximum head in terms of increase the impeller. These are the series which cover in Kirloskar: UP series, SCT, IHT, and DSL. Multi-stage pump is also covered in between bearings, that is impeller series are there, and we develop the high flow as well as high head, you can say high pressure also. In firefighting terms, we use this type of pumps for high-rise multi-stage concept as well as multi-outlet concept in both orientation, horizontal as well as vertical. Some pump it's very similar like vertical turbine pumps. This pump also installed inside the tank. As per your sum depth, we increase the length of the pump shaft, and the head will achieve as per the mentioned parameters. The vertical turbine is also similar, used in firefighting application. Some depth is depend on the side, and basically as per the sum depth we manufacture the pump length.
He said that Kirloskar, because is almost 100-year-old company, okay, and these all pumps are more or less matured product. 50 years they have been producing this pump. So why not the testing of the pumps be shifted to the channel partner level, okay? And he threw a challenge to all the channel partners. Why don't you take this challenge of testing the so-called mature products? They are also in this field for last 50 years, and he was very confident that one of the channel partners could know the facility, the same what we have at the Malam plant. So we as Visionary took up this challenge on behalf of the channel fraternity, and here we are with the testing facility over here. We test pumps up to 90 kilowatt over here, and flow being up to 3000 meter cube per hour. Okay. So the entire idea was ideated by Kirloskar. The idea again was that the mother plant, that is Kirloskar body plant, is free to test solar pumps, sodium pumps, they are nuclear pumps, 4 megawatt and 5 megawatt and above. So they have put the upscale in the chain, and down the level, the mature products are being handled by channel partners like us. The other idea why this was ideated was like Blinkit is there, and anything you order on Blinkit, in 10 minutes you get the product at your doorstep. Okay, 7 बजे 10 मिनट में आपने order किया, 7 बजे 20 मिनट में आपके घर पे आओ. Suppose the same testing is being done Kirloskar body, one day for traveling, one day to come back, and one more day and being present there at Kirloskar body. So we are is facility in place, and our stocks you can see on the right. A lot of stocks are there with us. Okay, so we can give with performance testing the delivery within 4 weeks. Okay, so we are cutting short on the delivery time, we are cutting short on the transit time. So everything is now as business is done at the speed of thought. Same thing has been limited over here. So we will now run through the entire gamut of the process what we are over here. Right from just like Abhishek told, there are 2 type of pumps between the bearings and the overall design. Okay, so we are open 2 pumps over here. Overall design pump का open करके रखा है, between the bearings को open करके रखा है. That will open and rebox again for you. The second step would be the cleaning of the impeller. But because from the factory what you get is the pump with full diameter impeller. Then we trim as per your requirement. Say 170 meters per hour, 70 meters, so on and so forth. Once I trim the impeller, the center of gravity of the impeller shift. So again, dynamically balance that impeller again so that it runs perpendicular to the axis of the shaft. So the next step will be the dynamic balancing of the impeller. That will do. And we will also run through the alignment of the pump side and fitment of the mechanical seal, hydrodynamics of the mechanical seal. Finally, we will show the performance testing of the pump. And put our pump over here. That is going to our FCC coastal road park, car park 1 and 2. So coastal road everybody must have traveled. So for that car park 1 and 2, we have got an order from FCC. Those pumps are going to go there. Those pumps are being kept over here for performance testing. Okay, that is what we are going to do. And one last but not the least, Gautam sir told that we should also speak about the Kirloskar device. Okay, now that is the easy which is going to come about. Okay, now generally आप देखते हो कहीं हॉस्पिटल में पता रहता है कि वो ये पंप रूम कहाँ पे है. Okay, so the firefighters come they really struggle to know where exactly the pump room is located. Okay, so Kirloskar has come out with a unique device known as Kirloskar. It is based on IoT and Siddhartha would take it further on the IoT. And believe me, in another 6 months, it will become compulsory for all the fire contractors to keep that in place. That's a very futuristic product what we have, and we will also show a live demo of that particular product. So right now we are more into the live demonstration of all the products. Siddhartha will run for the Kirloskar for a couple of minutes, and then we can have a live session over here.
Sir, what Deepak bhai currently said. So we are running a small video actually of when the inauguration happened of the facility. That is one. And the facility was inaugurated by none other than Sanjay Kirloskar, Rama Kirloskar and Alok Kirloskar. All of them were here. So we'll run a short video of it, and I'll just add a few points to the APOEM unit. Few points, because we are going to focus a little more on the physical. That's it. We are able to deliver after testing the pumps in a span of 7 days as well. The Atal Setu project had a very stringent timeline to define and execute the fire pumps. The delivery was set to be 8 weeks. We were able to deliver them in 7 days. So as good as mine, it is as good as yours. So we've come across cases where customers have come to us and said that we want the pumps by end of the day. This is for a Nirlon Park project. We called the customer in the morning, he came here. In fact, he sat in the conference room, we decided the selection of the pump. We got the pump impeller trimmed within 2 hours. We got the pump tested with the motor in 3 hours. Did the documentation, and evening at 4:30 the pumps have left, and they were installed the next day because he was facing a fine of 1.5 crore for the delay and an encashment of bank guarantee. Now this is what the facility makes a difference to each and every customer who's coming in, and that is why we have a variety of customers who have come in. We have builders, we have got Roadwall, we have got certain portion of Lodati, we have got government institutions and semi-government agencies, VEMC, BRC, ONGC, BPCI. We had BSNL coming here for inspection, and we have got Wipro, we've got Lakshmi Organics, we've got Aqua Farm. Everyone has come here and done their inspections. And we can go up to 150 HP as well, but with a DG support currently, which we will upgrade the system to 250 HP. Now why I'm putting this across is, as you are observing, the project timelines are coming smaller and smaller, and it becomes evidently important that the inspection happens of the pumps. And once this inspection happens, there is a lot of confidence and trust that comes to a customer. At one point of time when we were executing an order for the army, we had 21 people at our unit only for inspection from 3 different teams: the PMC, the MEP, the end consultant and the contractor. And we answered each and every question. So I would encourage every one of you, this is more easy. We've got feedback from customers saying that हमारे बिलिंग में तकलीफ नहीं आया, because my customer has seen the testing of the pumps at the unit. He's absolutely seen how the balancing has happened of the impeller. He's seen the deboxing and assembling of the pump set. So this is something which is a very, very unique feature, and we have matured. Just want to share a case with you. Last year with Wipro Waters, we had 167 pumps which were tested. We do a PMI testing also. We do a PMI testing for the customer here. So the whole idea of putting this abroad to everyone is that time we value, effort we value, and execution is something that we are really, really focused on. We have a very good team here of around 16 people who take care. We've got calls, Given has got calls that, please, we want the inspection to be put forward to the next day. We have accommodated customers. We got inspections done even after 4 o'clock here where, there was criticality and urgency. So it is not only about a witness inspection, it is about the trust and transparency that we can put on. So I thought that let me add to you. We are not going through the process flow and everything, because we will actually have a physical review of everything and then take it up. Let's come to a very, very interesting product which is Kirloskar. And why I'm very strong believer of this product is because we execute solar projects. And in the last 6 years, we have seen the markets transcending from non-IoT based to completely IoT based. Today, when we look at solar, we have to give a P ratio, we have to give a generation confirmation, and we are observing the shift that is there, and everything today is on IoT. Without an IoT, it is next to impossible to really do that. I think KVL has been very, very strong and forward in this case, and I think it's an interesting product to put across. From a fire perspective, I think it's very, very important because it would act in terms of transparency to the fire officers. Evidently, if there is fire, which one shouldn't want to have. It also ensures that your system is operational. It also ensures that the society takes it very seriously to have a regular testing of their system. The problem is that they don't have a testing of the system. Second, it has an app. The app is available on your mobile. You can go to an extent going ahead is you could operate start and stop pumps from your end as well. The app. Now this is something which would be come. But I'll just cover the basic features. This is a typical Kirloskar unit with many features. So introducing Kirloskar IoT-based remote pump monitoring system. We will, yeah, okay. So what does this IoT remote monitoring system do? It looks at the pump health monitoring. It looks at the pump performance monitoring. Okay, whether it's giving that amount of flow, head, does the voltage is the current available properly? If there is no fluctuation in the incoming voltage is also something that gets recorded. It also gives you a predictive maintenance. Now this feature is specifically for industry. You know, we are observing a lot of plants where they have a huge number of pumps and cooling tower pumps are there, utility pumps are there. So it also gives a predictive maintenance based on the running hours and what is defined as per the IOM manual. Now imagine you need to replace the impeller casing and the bearing casing at the right time. Now somebody will come up and say कि pump तो चल रहा है, pump चलेगा, but pump के internal losses बढ़ेंगे. And if timely things are replaced, the life of the pump increases. HIS says, Hydraulic Institute says, that you lose efficiency of the pump of 1% per year. So let's assume that it's 0.8. Still it will make a lot of difference. So predictive maintenance from an industry perspective becomes very, very important. A lot of people are today integrating systems at their end with SCADA. But because KVL is an expert in the pumping domain, it makes sense to get it from an expert. Correct? A person who's making shirts, you can't ask him to make underwears. No, you can't. So he's good at that. So that is where we come into picture of doing this extensively well. Another thing is it gives you trends. You observe that over a period of time, the input of power is going very, very high. This is also something that you can observe and say, okay, there could be a problem in the complete operation of the system. So trends is also something that is there. It gives historical data. We have given one pump set to IIT Mumbai for their systems, and we had a continuous monitoring for their multiple hostel buildings. And we observed the trend of how they were operating their pumps, what was the time the basic flow was higher, they had a VAD operated system, when it was lower. We could actually tell them, this is your optimized power input required, and this is how you could look at other plants as well. So this is something which is there. From a fireman's perspective, you can also see what is the operations happening in the. Are they testing the system? Other operations are happening. What kind of data are we capturing? And once the data is available, it would be as good as a semi part of your FMUL system. FMUL system is nothing more. It records the data at a time where the reassurance company, Factory Mutual, states and identifies the data very clearly and states, okay, the system was running, the system was operational during fire. This is a system that you will identify will be operational or not, and it will be available through a third-party software. Currently, it is a SIM-based system that we are offering. In a coming due course of time, we have a Wi-Fi system coming into place. As long as there is connectivity, because now your pump houses are basement 2, basement 1, basement 2. So this is something that one has to keep in mind. It also has spare management, but spare management may not work. But if it's a larger township, facility managers would want to have this solution in their fold. We have put it across 2-3 facility management companies and said, why don't you look at this product also at your. It has an alarm and alert SMS email system. Alarm and SMS will come if the pump is not operational. If there is an excess current that has been drawn, if the pump trips. A lot of time people don't know when the system was operational. We did one seminar for the fire officers at Michael, and there is where we got this input. Pata kisko hota hai, watchman ko hota hai. Dusra, the debate is, the best subject what we learned from them is, I said, which subject do you want to know the most? They said panels, not pumps, panel one. And give me a cutout or a panel which I can go and explain, because my people need to understand how the panel operates. Pumps I can understand, everything I understand. So we realized that this is very, very effective, and that is what then across. And it's very user friendly. Interface is very important. Somebody uses an Apple phone today. Why does he use it in the first place? Because the interface, once you are used to, becomes easier for them. Or somebody uses an Android interface. Why does the interface? So very easy, very simple to use. These are your parameters. I mean, I'll run quickly because then we can spend time on the other thing. So flow, pressure, but let me share with you, we need sensors to be put in. You have power consumption. In this is a very voltage, what kind of current it is drawing, frequency, the power factor also plays a critical role. You have pump and motor bearing vibrations. You know, a lot of time alignments are out, so your driving and bearings are the first one to go. But suppose if you have a sensor in place, you could identify from the given limits the bearings is there. Of course, we have to send the data, and that is done as per the data sheet, and from where we could really understand how does this work. Then we have pump, motor, both the bearing temperatures. This becomes very frequent. Motor winding temperature. Now this is for continuous duty operations where your utility pumps are there. Your motor winding temperature becomes essentially very important. Of course, now we have I2, we have resorted to I3, then we will go to I4 going ahead in the future, where you will have PMS motor, permanent magnet bearings, which would come into play. And then you have pump running hours. Now, this is very important to keep in mind. What is the duration of running hours? So these are customer benefits. You get live status of historical data explained, alert alarms we have put, complaint resolution and tracking, because one phase would be there. It would be a third party cloud based solution where one we would have at our end also. So you know whether the complaints were resolved at some point of time. This is kept in mind the society, or you take an AMC contract and put this device later also. It still makes sense to them. So you can say, okay, this complaint has been resolved. The system would say that the complaint has been resolved. Or as the facility manager, we could tell them that the complaint has been resolved. So there is a very strong track of timelines. It becomes very easy to ensure that your system is operational completely. So this is a great idea. You have to spend a little on it, but it's worth going there. You have pump diagnostics and assistance, storage of data events in case of failure, historical data. You can take a backup of the data. It has a RJ485 port also for you to get the data out in your system. You have communication mode selection. Currently it is GPRS, Ethernet cable. If you are already having cable tracer, you are going to put another cable. So UPVC might you could put an Ethernet port. According to me personally, cables are the best. There is no mismatch of data, and the real-time data comes very easy. This is what we have observed with Cat6 cables are good. Simple plug-and-play system, cost-effective, but it has a subscription model. Subscription is not very high in terms of value. You have one given subscription that you have to take, but the benefit is extremely good. We've already covered this. What all benefits are there? Cost, repair, labor, headaches, less. But you have to keep looking at how you look at Instagram. You have to keep looking at it from time to time. People only look at Instagram these days very regularly, and go on Facebook. But then we have to look at other things as well. Elements, cost of assets like server, modems, computers. You may set up at your own end. Okay, I understand server prices have come down, but why do you want to be responsible for the data where others can be made responsible for it? For which you just have to give a subscription. This we have bifurcated between health monitoring, performance monitoring and maintenance. These are three basic things. We'll keep this in mind and we'll go ahead. This is just a dashboard and screen how it looks. This is a complete 100% package of what features one has taken. So it talks about all the touch points where your sensors are, if you see on the top, and it talks about the discharge pressure, what it is. And there is alarms and there are keys and there are parameter tags that are there. So this is something which is a dashboard that we have shared. Predictive maintenance and spare management. If you look at it says that cavitation condition, that's the predefined cavitation conditions in terms of behavior. So it would give you an alert if there is some kind of cavitation condition happening. So please take a note of it. What happens is we come to the outer end of things. Once the cavitation has happened, the pitting marks are there on the impeller, the problem is already there you are. Now that doesn't make a solution. Suppose if there is a problem, at least if there is an opportunity for me to address it. Similarly, spare management, if you see the number of hours, it is already mentioned there, 8,500 hours, 6,000 hours, 7,000 hours. Now this is something we take away, it's a very important thing. In compressor business, we talk about total cost of ownership of product. That's how we look at it. Now what they do is, they say that if I timely replace my space, irrespective of the running hours or the years that it has to replace, because it's a mechanical component, then I have a higher probability that my life consistency of the product will increase. Now when we calculate total cost of ownership, we call it for 10 years. So similarly for pumps, we are trying to imbibe this idea that why can't you have your pumps running for a longer duration? What does happen if you don't have to replace it? Your cost of maintenance goes down. Your maintenance total and the experience the customer holds make a lot of difference. And they have done an analysis with KPMG when they said that is the reason I have got my repeat customers going higher. Now, this is how the IoT will benefit you, your customers. When you set up a project, do an IoT, go ahead, take an AMC contract, new project comes, the customer believes that you are very transparent, clear, specific, measured, and you would like to then work with a newer customer where there is higher amount of competition. So this is a very, very short presentation. I thought, let me talk about Kirloskar. This is an extremely good product. Yeah? It's completely cloud-based. No, KBL owns the cloud. KBL owns the cloud. They have servers at their end. They may have some relation with some company for cloud services, but it's a very, very secure network from there. And that's why the subscription model is.
It's our own cloud. So whatever you want, we can club it and we can deliver to you. It's our own cloud. Generally, we develop for a particular pump in HVAC first, then we introduce in the firefighting for all the station pumps like hydrant, sprinkler, jockey and standby pumps. So configuration will be monitored commonly through your main common panel.
Yeah, you can give it in an existing setup, but we'll have to come and monitor whether the sensor probes. Again, what do we want to cover? So it's like, I have 10,000 features or maybe multiple features out there, but then in the existing pump, we look at what kind of sensors need to be put, what kind of data we can pull in. So we can give it to an existing setup also. It's worth it.
Small changes if we require for existing setup connected with the Kirloskar, we need to small changes like PT and CT. Yeah.
We'll connect it with your PT into your panel and we'll connect it to our system. Because this is not going to be part of your electrical fire panel. It will be a different box, enclosure only which would have features because it's a standalone unit. And because that cannot be, because the CT/PT changes, flow meter if you want to evaluate the flow what is, but I don't think it will make a difference to you. Operationally it should be effective is what we are looking at. But we can integrate it. You can give us a test case, we could really prepare something and give it to you. Does it?
One more small thing I'll add in this is, we are only looking at the pump set for these people, but the most important is for the power distribution board and all also to be looked at properly. Some people ask for variable frequency drive. You simply take a normal pump and give some other power distribution board and blame everybody, it is not going to happen. And secondly, nowadays, potential free contacts from the panel and all are required for the fire alarm system minimum. So these things please do not do it, because अभी ही मेरे पे एक इंक्वायरी आया है, वन जेंटलमैन इज टेलिंग इवनिंग तक मुझे कोटेशन दे दो, आई सेड मुझे उतना एक्सपर्टाइज नहीं है, ओके कुछ भी पूछने का उसके बाद अभी दे दो करके उसके बाद तुमने वो नहीं बोला ये नहीं बोला. सो लेट अस यूटिलाइज देयर हेल्प आल्सो टू मेक द पावर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन फॉर आवर वेरिएबल फ्रीक्वेंसी. सर वेदर दिस पंप विल बी सूटेबल फॉर द कम्युनिकेशन, वेदर हमने मोटर विल बी सूटेबल, बिकॉज एवरी टाइम द मोटर विल नॉट बी सूटेबल फॉर एवरीथिंग. ओके सो हमने वैसा आज का स्टार्टेड और इट वॉज DOL. अभी सॉफ्ट स्टार्टर से लेकर सभी मार्केट में आ रहे हैं, सभी कुछ में पूछता है, उसके बाद सिस्टम काम नहीं करता है. ओके सो दैट वे वी हैव टू, एज आई टोल्ड यू, वी हैव टू टेक द इनपुट्स प्रॉपर्ली एंड वी हैव टू. Sir, actually, there are few important things before the starter we have to look at. One is called what is a connected load and a demand load. If I go to a thermal power plant which has got 10 megawatt of power, they will tell everything to put it in DOL starter because उसको तो ये चुचुपी हो गया. Okay, this fire pump is a chujili for them just like a mosquito sitting on us. Okay, they will tell everything is a DOL starter. If you go to a normal plant like say our Volkswagen or something, they may tell कि जाके हमको आप DOL में रखो, इसको तुमने स्टार डेल्टा में रखो. ओके, हमने उसके आगे कुछ कहा कि सर मेरे को इलेक्ट्रिकल टैरिफ का मुझे बहुत पंगा हो रहा है. एक में उसने चालू किया, मेरे को टेंशन नहीं है, लेकिन मेरे को उतना they don't have anything, they are charging me 3 tons. Then we go for the soft start. Okay, so the third portion is becoming that मेरा revenue में is it going to take a hit. Okay, मैंने 3 मिनट वैसे चालू कर दिया, टेस्टिंग कर दिया, उसकी वजह से मेरा पेनल्टी बहुत हो रहा है. Then I look for the start number. But as I'm going for more and more technologies, we should understand that our fire pumps and all are in remote locations. अगर तुम्हारा स्टार है ट्यूब है ना, कोई भी आके गांव से ठीक करके देता है. Another one fantastic thing I will tell you, sir, we all have got a feeling, we are all wearing pant shirt, we are more knowledgeable. I have seen the plumbers in the villages being much more fantastic. You know what they are doing? If you give a normal person in the city, if the incoming voltage is, motor is failing, he will tell I am worried. That fellow, you know what he does? He goes and checks the minimum voltage and the maximum voltage and changes the insulation and everything like that. And उसके बाद वो काम करता है. They are much more street smart. So हमने पहला आपका क्वेश्चन में पहला I should be confident I can feed it, then star and DOL. नहीं तो मेरा टैरिफ नहीं है तो सॉफ्ट स्टार्ट है, और नहीं है तो नहीं आगे जाए.
शॉर्ट में आपको सर का मैं और एक अलग एंगल से मैं एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ. सॉफ्ट स्टार्टर बेसिकली द क्वेश्चन इज अराइव व्हेन वी नॉट टेक केयर द लोड. स्टार्टिंग करंट कितना आएगा? अगर स्टार्टिंग करंट जब आप कोई भी मोटर को स्टार्ट करोगे तो जैसा सर ने बताया 4 टाइम्स 5 टाइम्स 10 टाइम्स स्टार्टिंग करंट होता है. तो वो स्टार्टिंग करंट का अगर लोड नहीं ले सकता है जेनसेट या जो बैकअप प्रोविजन है, देन वी नीड टू इंस्टॉल द सॉफ्ट स्टार्टर. Soft starter basically softly, slowly start the system. If you are take caring those part, then don't require soft starter. Start delta is enough. Or in the smaller way, your DOL is also better.
So what we will do is we will. So that's now something about Kirloskar that we have already added. So now what we'll do is we'll go to the practical part of it. So I would request everybody, we will start from the right hand side. Ketan and Deepak Bhai would really talk about how the process is.
We already revolved the pump over here. One is the between the bearing pump and second is the over and out pump over here. Okay. Right now they will do the reboxing of the pump. That is the between the bearing, end suction pump, over and impeller pump. Yeah. It is my head mostly and
पंप है सीपीएचएम रेड बुल का पंप है ये. ठीक है, आगे इसमें सील लगाना है, हमने ओपन करके रखा है. ये सील के पार्ट्स है, स्टेशनरी पार्ट है, और ये रोटरी सील के ऊपर बैठेगा. ये स्लीव है बस. इसके ऊपर ऐसा फिटिंग होता है और उसको
media not leak or not come out on the stuffing box. So basically these two things are pressure to each other and again push the liquid inside the pumping area. The faces is Teflon integrated white asbestos, silicon carbide, then carbon ceramic. These are the faces generally used in the mechanical seal. Depend on the media which you are transferring, like water, clear water, then your any acids. Based on that, the seal faces will change accordingly. So here for the water application, here they are putting carbon ceramic, I think.
or what?
It is carbon versus ceramic. Okay.
Carbon versus ceramic, correct.
But just taking it further, this pump is a what you call life protection device. Okay. So as Kirloskar, we do recommend and even FMVL talks about land pack pump. Okay. Land pack में क्या होता है? It is very easy to change the land packing by any. जैसे सर ने बोला कि any plumber can do. Same thing, land packing can be done changed by anyone over here. Okay. But suppose the mechanical seal ceases, the pump will not be in operation when the fire takes place. Okay. So we do recommend that all the pumps should be with land packing. Okay. So I think as a consultant also I would suggest that I know I am going to take a hit on the price, but looking at the long-term solution, I would suggest all the consultants to say the pump should be with land pack pumps. Okay. That would make this life protection device up and away at one kick. So they are just showing the fitment of the.
Just to add, now what happens with land pack में क्या होगा? आप seal क्यों लगाते हैं? The seal is to arrest the leakage and the water being spill out in your pump. So what we generally now are suggesting is that we have a drip tray arrangement at the bottom with an exit to be given, and that can be drained down either in your sump in the pump room where you have the pump, or if you have it on the ground level you can exit it outside. So the whole idea is very simple कि drip tray will take care of everything. It becomes easier for anything. Another thing that we personally feel is we have observed that a lot of pumps don't run for a longer period of time once they are being handed over to the society. Because if I go in my building also we had a drill, so I and my father was the only member who came down for the fire drill. So we observed that okay, the running of the pump is not that frequent. So even if in case there is a seal, your static part and your rotating part, if your rotating part becomes jammed, there is a higher possibility that the pump will not run, the motor will start, it will draw higher current and it will hit the panel because we have given it the range will trip. So that are two reasons that we feel in evidently of fire. Because fire will not happen when high wind, it will happen when it has to happen. And we don't wish to have it. So that is why generally we say that this land pack रखो, at least pump चालू होगा, इतना चालू होगा, problem नहीं होगा. The other reason and the solution for it is different.
So is that statement correct that in a land packing scenario, the packing should be always wet, or it should be always wet, right?
That is
So
the
if-
condition of the pump. If the land packing is wet, that means the pump is running satisfactory.
Right,
Okay.
but for example, generally in a fire pump case scenario, the water is not, system is pressurized, but it is not going to function continuously, right? So is there a scenario?
So क्या होगा? Layers will peel off. Your layers will peel off, start coming, and then it will go off. So any which ways that will happen, but at least you have a better probability chance कि भाई problem नहीं होगा. दूसरा if it
So even if the pump is not working with the water in the system, that land pack will be wet all the while?
as long as the pump is there in the eye of the impeller
Eye
तक
of the
रहेगा ना,
Okay.
उधर तक पानी तो होना चाहिए, and that is why you have priming tank का एक provision अगर रहेगा, so then you can keep your it is like the pump is primed. है ना, नहीं तो you go for self priming pump. For fire
Yes.
self priming
This
the
is a rotary. Okay, why we call stationary and rotary? Because these two faces which connected in the pumps, and this pushing the water media again inside the stuffing box. So this is a rotary. ये रोटरी का हमने एक फेस लिया है, ये कार्बन है, और ये जो स्टेशनरी का है ये सेरामिक है. These parts faces are very crucial role play in the mechanical seal. अभी इसको हमने क्लब करके एक टेंशन दे दिया, टेंशन देने के बाद में इसको पंप के अंदर इंस्टॉल किया. अब जैसा पंप स्टार्ट होगा ये काम करेगा. बट दिस इज अगेन प्रिंसिपल कॉल फॉर दैट मैकेनिकल सील टर्म्स. एवरी 6 months यू नीड टू रिप्लेस और लैप द फेसेस ऑफ दिस. ये मिरर फिनिश होना चाहिए फेसेस. अभी हमारा क्या होता है, फॉर एग्जांपल एक फायर का हमें टिपिकल एग्जांपल ले लेंगे. स्टैगर्ड वाटर होता है और वंस इन अ ब्लू मून पंप शुड परफॉर्म. तो 6 months 1 year is gone and the pump is not performing and immediate emergency is required and you run the pump. In that condition faces को तो केयरटेक हुआ ही नहीं है. अभी क्या होगा, यहाँ से लीकेज होगा तो क्या होगा, प्रेशर ड्रॉप होगा. प्रेशर ड्रॉप होगा तो पंप परफॉर्म नहीं करेगा जो उसको परफॉर्म करना चाहिए. सो दैट्स व्हाई इन दी फायर एप्लीकेशन पंप्स मैकेनिकल सील इज नॉट applicable, or you can say it is not viable solution. The gland packing is a suitable choice and you can install anywhere and easily replace, जैसे सिद्धार्थ जी ने बताया, is a gland rope, Teflon integrated white asbestos. The rope is there, you tight the rope and you provide and ensure that the water passes away on each rope, so it will not burn. If it is not burn, then it will be providing the cooling internally and your performance will be smoothly happen.
सर अभी गाड़ी जैसा स्टैटिक रहेगा,
इसको पकड़ना है हाथ में,
रन नहीं करेगा.
Carbide or Teflon side, that can get damaged even in your regular continuous working pumps also, right? So even in that case you have to.
In case of two things. If it is a run dry,
Okay.
ड्राई रन हो जाएगा तब डैमेज होगा.
Okay.
सेकेंड कोई एब्रेशन आ गया,
Okay.
अगर कोई एब्रेसिव मीडिया आ गया तो वो क्या होगा, डैमेज कर देगा फेसेस.
Okay.
और ड्राई रनिंग होगा तो भी डैमेज करेगा. ऐसा
एंड ये बोले कि 6 महीने में लैपिंग कराना है,
पर वो पता कैसे चलेगा कि डैमेज है?
लीकेज चालू हो जाएगा.
लीकेज चालू हो जाएगा, सील में से लीकेज चालू हो गया तो आपको पता चलेगा कि सील डैमेज हो जाएगा.
सील में सर्विस डिमांड है. आप जब सर्विस सील ओपन करोगे तो पता चलेगा फेसेस डैमेज हो चुके हैं.
So do you suggest that?
मार्क्स आते हैं ना, मार्क्स आने का चालू हो गया ना तो समझ जाते हैं लीकेज चालू हो जाएगी.
Do you suggest that gland packing is a better mechanical seal, better seal compared to mechanical seal?
Packing is a better in the process.
Better?
Yes.
In some cases, mechanical seal is preferred choice. I will give you the one example.
अगर आपका नेगेटिव सेक्शन है तो आप नेगेटिव सेक्शन में अगर आपने ग्लैंड पैकिंग लगा दिया तो ग्लैंड में से एयर पकड़ेगा और एयर आने की वजह से आपका सक्शन ही लिफ्ट नहीं होगा.
Okay.
Okay, against is a clause. We cannot use the fire pump for a negative section, but somehow there is available 2 meter, 1 meter, the small negative section is there. In that condition also the mechanical seal is preferred choice instead of gland packing. क्योंकि मैकेनिकल सील में से लीक एयर अंदर जाएगा नहीं तो वैक्यूम टैक रहेगा.
उसके लिए ना ग्लैंड पैकिंग तो सभी बोलते हैं, सबके साथ सबका विकास.
ये एक्चुअली अभी क्या है, हमारा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डिवीजन है इसलिए ऐसा असेंबल किया है. साइट के ऊपर असेंबली का क्राइटेरिया अलग होता है, वो डायरेक्टली सेम लाइक दिस. ओके, अब इसका मटेरियल ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन के बारे में हम बात करेंगे कि व्हाट इज द मटेरियल ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन इज रिक्वायर्ड. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दैट क्लियरली एक्सप्लेन. हियर impeller is installed, here your coupling will be installed, here bearing will be installed. Okay, and this bearing either covered by grease lubrication or oil lubrication depend on the pump type. Okay, so now the material of construction. This is basically we manufacture all the materials cast steel to high alloys. Okay, but here in our fire application connected to the fire only, the fire application, the water media, the transfer media is water, is pure water, clear water. फिर हम लोग इसमें हमेशा स्पेसिफिकेशन में बोलते हैं एसएस होना चाहिए. आवर मेन क्राइटेरिया क्या एसएस होना चाहिए. एंड द मैन्युफैक्चरर सेड कि नहीं आपको तो कास्ट स्टील भी चलेगा. आई एम कमिंग टू द पार्ट, द मेन रोल ऑफ द शाफ्ट टू होल्ड द मैकेनिकल लोड. क्या पर्पज है इसका? होल्ड द मैकेनिकल लोड. मैंने आपको बताया ना, जैसा इन्होंने भी बताया टीम ने, इम्पेलर यहाँ से लगेगा, बेरिंग यहाँ पर लगेगी और कपलिंग गार्ड यहाँ पर, कपलिंग यहाँ पर आ जाएगी. तो होल्ड द मैकेनिकल लोड इज़ अ मेन क्राइटेरिया ऑफ द शाफ्ट. अभी इसके अंदर जितना कार्बन कंटेंट्स होगा उतना इसका स्ट्रेंथ बढ़ेगा. बट वाई पीपल आर यूजिंग SS 316 and 304? बिकॉज देयर मीडिया इज केमिकल, एसिड्स, अल्कलाइन. So compatibility is there is the issue. In our case there is compatibility is not an issue. Compatibility आपको issue है क्या? नहीं, हमको strain चाहिए. Because of the strain, the cast steel C40 material is the best.
And your motor or diesel engine should be okay. Because क्या होता है, इसने सार ने परफेक्टली बोला, अगर ये साइड में सेक्शन है, वो साइड में डिलीवरी है, आपने यू डोंट हैव टू चेंज दी और जस्ट एनीथिंग इन द पाइपिंग टू चेंज योर मोटर और एनीथिंग. सो हमने क्लॉकवाइज डिलीवरी चाहिए, एंटी क्लॉकवाइज डिलीवरी चाहिए. जिसको पहले ही बोल दिया तो दे कैन डू इट.
Absolutely.
And the arrow is already
C40 shaft for water transfer application. आपका कोई एब्रेसिव मीडिया है तो शाफ्ट इम्पेलर शाफ्ट मतलब कंस्ट्रक्शन इम्पेलर.
So then वो उसका श्योरिटी है वैसा कास्ट आयरन सहेगा प्रॉब्लम तो आएगा. दूसरा साइड वी डोंट हैव कंट्रोल है इंडस्ट्री में कास्ट करके वी गेट कंप्लीट शेयरिंग ऑफ शाफ्ट.
सब्जेक्ट टू दैट उनको उसके हिसाब से ट्रिमिंग करनी है. तो दैट ट्रिमिंग they done as per the specification or guideline of the Kirloskar or the pump manufacturer.
So this is the way. So ये एंगल पे कभी कभी भी ये जो थिकनेस है ये भी कट करना पड़ता है.
RKB
पम्प्स के लिए डिजायर्ड के लिए एफिशिएंसी एक्यूरेसी होता है सब होता है. तो यहाँ अगर आप देखो तो ये पोर्शन ग्राइंडर से ग्राइंड किया बैलेंस के लिए बैलेंसिंग. हाँ वो बैलेंसिंग जब करेगा ना तब आपको मनोज दिखाएगा क्या है. तो फर्स्ट संजय विल शेयर विद अस की डिफ्लेक्शन का कैसा करते हैं.
यहाँ पे तो बेरिंग होता है, बेरिंग का लोड पे कुछ होता नहीं. ट्राई तो दोनों एंड पे ज़्यादा चांस है रिफ्लेक्शन. छोटे छोटे पंप में ज़्यादा होते हैं, बड़े पंप में इतना होता ऐसे चेक करते हैं.
लेकिन ये वेयर एंड टेयर थोड़ा जो हो गया तो अगेन मशीनिंग करना पड़ता है कि
नहीं चेंज करेंगे तो अच्छा.
एक लिमिट के बाद वो चेंज
करेंगे तो अच्छा. नया यूज़ करेंगे तो अच्छा. ये पहले अभी 0 पे सेट कर दे रहे हैं. ओके 0 पे सेट कर दिया फिर उसको घुमाना. अच्छा ये इसका कैसे 1 mm का 100 तो ओके उसमें से हम लोग 0.3 या 0.5 मैक्सिमम अलाउ 0.05 उसका होना चाहिए. ऐसे चेक करते हैं तो क्या है वहाँ पे आएगा तो वो वापस उसका 0 पे 0 रहना. ओके पूरा
अगर देखोगे तो वैसे वो ऑलरेडी बैलेंस हुआ है.
ओके
बैलेंस किया हुआ है तो फिर वो ढूंढ रहा है. उसका क्या एक ना फॉर्मूला है. हम लोग बैलेंसिंग करते हैं ISO 99 अपना हाँ 194.
अच्छा
Point
तो
one.
0.4 से नीचे होना चाहिए.
0.4 से नीचे आना.
0.4 उसका मैक्सिमम है. अच्छा
और
ओके.
अभी
और एंगल का कुछ नहीं
एंगल
important?
मतलब मास हम लोग बैलेंसिंग के पहले उसका
मास
वेट करते
वेट
हैं
कर
कि
लेते
कितना
हैं.
है. हर एक इम्पेलर के हिसाब से अलग अलग है.
अच्छा वो है
जैसा डायमीटर बढ़ता जाएगा तो फिर अलावेबल भी जाए वो बढ़ता जाएगा.
मैंने अपन इधर गैस साइड जाना पहले सिलेक्ट
उसमें से जब पानी आना चालू हो गया दैट मीन्स द कंप्लीट सिस्टम में से एयर गया. ओके एंड दैट इज़ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. नहीं तो सिस्टम को इम्पैक्ट होगा.
डिस्ट्रिक्ट त्याप्रमाणे हे तुम्ही बघाल तर हे त्याचे टॉलरन्सेस. लोला आहे +or-8%, रेड के लिए +or-5%, पावर +8%. सिस्टम में सब मीटर क्यूब पर आवर में 2280 LPM मतलब हुआ 137 मीटर क्यूब पर आवर.
Honest to the society is one of the such sections. I request on behalf of our membership chair that who are not FSA members, we would request you to be members so that you can get benefit out of these sessions like this, knowledge sessions. As I have already indicated, it is our constant endeavor to bring in the new technologies to the society and it is replaced in our daily routine jobs, whether it is our projects, whether we are designing it or whether we are executing it. We know latest technologies that are there in the market, we can get benefit out of it and we can pass on that benefit to our clientele. So now I would request Muthu sir to felicitate Mr. Siddharth Shah.
So a lot of inputs have come during the session from him as well. So thank you for making it interactive and making a very, very effective session for everyone.
Thank you. Such sessions and such participation will encourage us to do more for the society. Thank you very much. And I would request small snacks and tablets for all of you, because you do all have.
Today one new member is joining, sir.
I hope session was effective, was helpful, and it would help you in your professional endeavor. Just one last thing, Amina, so there is small, we are getting very small time. We were told that we so please join us to ask your queries. You can ask.